A lot of you detailers are going to be maxed out in the next few weeks because the spring rush is here. So this literally happens every year across a lot of different industries in many businesses. So think about lawn care, right? There's not much lawns to cut or maintain during the winter season. Well, because it's the winter season, like there's no grass to be cut and people don't really care about keeping up with their grass because it's the winter season. Now you move into spring, which, the grass is starting to grow, it's a lot greener. Everyone's activity as far as customers, calls, revenue, jobs on the schedule will like dramatically increase. And this happens every year. The spring rush, and the spring rush is dependent on where you live, right? So your winter might be 2 months, your winter might be 30 days, your winter might be 4 months. That's completely dependent on where you live. The same thing goes for your spring rush. For our spring rush, it's like late February all the way up until like June, July, where it's like peak, like it's like really, really busy. Like every day it's like, maximum, activity going on, and like you're trying to keep up with the schedule. It tapers off after that, but even the spring rush is gonna be dependent on where you live. Some people might have it for 3 months, some might have it for 5 months, some might have it for 2 months. It's just dependent on where you live. But we are moving into the spring rush, which means a lot of you detailers are going to be busy. You're gonna get a lot more calls, a lot more emails, you're gonna book a lot more customers on the job, which is great, don't get me wrong, everyone always wants to be busier. But what you have to do right now, which you should have kind of been started doing, is prep for that spring rush. By the way, this is a perfect time to plug our sponsor, Jobber. Now with the spring rush coming into full effect in a few weeks, we need to stay organized and keep track of the customer's information. We need to make sure what's going on with the schedule. We need to make sure that customers are confirming their appointments, and we do all of that through Jobber. And I've been using Jobber now for the last 5 years in my business, running the detailing business. So if you want to get a free 14-day trial plus a special discount, click the link down in the description box and give it a try. Again, I've been using Jobber far before I became an ambassador for them. So check them out. Once your schedule starts picking up and you're booking out jobs, it's really hard to find time to do the mundane tasks or the boring tasks, right? So if there's stuff you have to do, like maybe do an oil change on your vehicle, switch the tires out or get new tires, whether it's repair an extractor or a generator or whatever it is you want to do, like do that now, because once the schedule picks up and things are going, you're not going to pay attention to these small things, right? So for us, for instance, we hung up finally, because we've been having this for a long time, we finally hung up the pressure washer hose on the wall. We added another air hose reel, and then we switched out what we used to have, the Karcher 1700. We switched that out for the AR Blue Clean 670, whatever it's called. And those are the few things that we've done in preparation for the spring rush, because we want to make sure that, like, hey, whatever we want to do, small things here and there, let's do that now, because starting March, like, we're just working. Like the primary thing is, let's just get the jobs on the schedule, service them, and on to the next one. Like another thing that we did was we made sure all the pads were washed, right? Something very simple. It doesn't have to be this grand, like, oh, let me go purchase a new van, right? I mean, if you have to, go do that. But it's like whatever small things you have to do, take care of it now. Whether it's something with your finances, whether it's something with your website, whether it's something with your CRM, whether you want to raise prices and you want to update that on your website, whether it's whatever it is, do that now. Because if you're in business and you know that you get busy, it's going to happen in 2 weeks. Like there's no question about it. Like unless like some other hurricane or something, like, yes, that'll impact your business. But aside from that, even for us, like over the last weeks, like we've seen an increase. It's a very clear increase in calls, emails, walk-ins, because people are starting to be active. The spring rush is happening and people want to book in their vehicle. So if you want to take advantage and really book as many jobs as you can, this is the time to make sure you do the best job to maximize and capitalize on all you can. Like that's a big reason why we sold the mobile van, right? Because one thing I didn't want to go into the new year with the thought of like, so do we sell it or do we not? Because then, January comes around and they're like, okay, yeah, well, maybe we should sell it. And then I go look for dealerships or look for pricing or try to sell it, and it just prolongs the process. And then before you know it, it's middle of February and we're like, okay, yeah, let's get rid of the van. Instead, it's like, no, I wanted to make sure we get it off the books and get it off our brain, probably more importantly, That way we can start prepping for the new year and for specifically the spring rush, right? So now that we were able to get the van out of here, we sold it. Well, then now we have more space. And after that, okay, now let's kind of reorganize the entire shop. So we basically like stuffed everything to the back side of the shop. So now this can become a dedicated tent shop. So now, like I said, we have a few tent jobs on the schedule. We have a $3,000 PPF job coming up next week. And then we have a, and obviously we're gonna do our vinyl wraps here. But again, that's all in preparation for the spring rush. Like another thing that we're gonna get installed this week is our peel board for our tent. Now again, like we need to get that up now because once the jobs start coming in, like I just wanna be able to work and actually do the tent jobs and have what we need to get the job done. Now we don't have a plotter right now. We have a few workarounds for the PPF and you know, we're just gonna hand cut everything for tent because we're preparing as much as we can, but obviously like that doesn't mean you just go and like I said, you don't go and buy a new mobile van or you don't go and do these crazy things, right? It's still an incremental step. So you prepare for what you're gonna do based on your goals and the budget, right? And even with all this preparation, like things can still change, right? In dead middle of the spring rush, like you might have to change something up. You might have to go and fix your van or get a shop or things are always gonna change and be liquid and fluid and you gotta move with the times, right? But you still wanna do the best that you can to prep. That way you set yourself up for success. And that's another reason why we've been adamant on getting more reps for window tint because we sent Angel out to get trained, I think February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. And that was like, whenever you go get trained, that's just the baseline, right? Like it's still like an introductory class to whatever thing that you want to learn. So as soon as Angel got back, I was like, bro, we got to start like practicing as much as we can because, you know, we want to get as many reps as we can before March comes around. That way, when March hits, we can actually offer these services, be confident in what we do, understand the temp process, understand the pricing, understand what we need to do. That way in March, we actually hit the ground running. We're bugging customers. We're not worried about this or about that. We're just moving along, getting the jobs done and like just obviously making money. But again, like that's being proactive and saying, hey, like we got to get through as many tent jobs as we can for practice. That way in March, like we start booking them in. And the day Angel got back on Monday or Tuesday, I mean, I think every day we tinted some windows, right? Maybe one day it was just like 1 or 2 windows. Other days it was 4 windows. The other day it was a front windshield. The other day was a rear windshield. The other day was this other thing, like just continuous repetitions. That way we're trying to shrink down the learning curve. So that way in March, we're like, okay, like we've got our reps. We're as confident as we can be right now. Now we actually have to start turning around customers and actually making money from the tent services. So the takeaway from this video is start prepping now, whatever that means to you, right? Is it just folding your towels? Is it maybe just cleaning out your garage? Is it, you know, doing some maintenance repair on your mobile rig? Is it updating your pricing? Whatever that is for you, do that now because you want to capitalize and maximize on the spring rush. And if you're more worried about like, oh, I didn't go and like change the alternator, or oh man, I forgot to go do this one thing, like that's gonna take away your energy and bandwidth from just booking in jobs and making money. And before I let you guys go, I'll give you a recap on this Forester. It's almost done actually. It's getting, well, it already got a full interior cleaning, a all-in-one polish, headlight restoration, engine cleaning, and we're gonna tint the front 2 windows, all for $1,000. Now for the window tinting, as of now, we're still pricing on the low end because we wanna get more reps, more confidence, and then work our way up in the pricing the same way that we did with like vinyl wrapping. So we're not too concerned about like, oh, it's not like the correct price because we're just trying to get more reps and get the ball rolling. And you know, in 3 months from now, the pricing will be different. But that's gonna end this video right here. Let me know if you have any comments or questions down below and I'll talk to you on the next one.